Hey, what's going on, you guys? So today I wanted to do a quick review of the AffloVest. I've had this vest for probably about maybe 5 or 6 months now. And as I'm sure with most people, I use this vest for cystic fibrosis treatments. So far, well, before I get into that, previously I had the Hill-Rom vest. And so far, this vest honestly seems to be working a bit better for me than the Hill-Rom vest did. That seems to be kind of a varying result with a lot of people. I looked on some forums online, Reddit forums mostly, and it seems like a lot of people, I guess not a lot of people, probably it's a pretty 50-50 split of people that seem to prefer the Hill-Rom vest to this vest. They say that vest seems to give them a little bit better airway clearance, but that's actually kind of the opposite for me. This vest, if you use the drainage setting, which we'll get into in a moment, this vest seems to personally clear me up a lot more than the Hill-Rom vest ever did. For example, with the Hill-Rom vest, I could go, probably a full day, maybe, if you really stretch it, maybe 2 days without getting a treatment on the Hill-Rom vest, and I would honestly barely notice a difference. Whereas with this vest, if I skip even one treatment, there's a massive difference in how well I'm able to breathe and how much mucus is being produced. Simply because this vest gets out so much more mucus than the Hill-Rom vest ever did. This vest, if you don't have insurance, you may as well forget about getting it. This vest, if memory serves me correct, this vest cost about $10,000 if you were to buy it with cash. Whereas the Hill-Rom vest, if you get lucky, you can find those on eBay for less than $1,000. I've seen them go for about $600 or so, pretty regularly. So this vest is far, far more expensive than the Hill-Rom vest is. But this vest, the main feature is that it's completely portable. The Hill-Rom vest, you have to plug it into the wall. You've got these big cables running all over the place. But this vest, as you can see, there's no cables attached to it whatsoever. I'm able to walk around however much I want, all because it has a battery built in. Now, the battery is actually a little bit weird, because when I first got this vest, I was able to get probably about 4 treatments per battery charge. And that is with letting the battery charge a full 8 to 12 hours in between use. So, say for example, I wake up at about 7 in the morning. I would let the battery charge overnight, and if I woke up at 7 that morning, I'd take a treatment at 7, and then at night, I'd take another treatment around 7. I could do that for 2 full days before this battery was completely depleted, and I would have to let it charge for a full 12 hours overnight before I could use it again. However, in recent months, I'm actually getting about 16 full treatments from this battery, and the treatments I take are about 30 minutes each. So I can get 16 full treatments. That's 8 full days of treatments off of one single battery, which is amazing to me. But even with that said, I would suggest, if you're buying one of these, to speak with your insurance company and request that you get an additional battery with it, because while this battery does last forever, it is so convenient to have 2 batteries, which is that's actually what I have, is 2 batteries. If you can't get your insurance to cover a second battery, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just really convenient so that when this battery does eventually die, you don't have to wait to get a treatment. You just plug this one in, unplug the other one that you already have charging, and you're good to go. That has been a lifesaver for me in so many different scenarios. So I would definitely recommend a second battery with this. I think cash price on the batteries, if you just buy them online, is about $200. So it's not absurdly expensive, but it's a bit pricey for a second battery. So I definitely, if you're looking at getting one of these, just ask your insurance company if they would possibly cover that. But now let's go on and get into the menu of the remote that we have here on the side, and I'll show you exactly how this thing works. Alright, so here we have the remote that controls the entire unit. This remote, it tucks away in this pouch just over here. You tie it up against the vest, and it kind of hides away until you need it again. But this remote, let's turn it on here, and I'll show you all the features that you have. Alright, let's see if we can get that to focus a little better. All right, hopefully you can see that. So up here at the top, we have our mode. And I currently, there we go. I currently have this set to drainage mode, but you also have vibration and percussion. Percussion, honestly for me, doesn't really do a whole lot. Drainage is really the best part of this entire vest. And what that does is it starts the vibrations of the vest in your lower abdomen. Then it goes to your middle abdomen and to the top of your torso. So it gives you kind of an upward movement, whereas the Hill-Rom vest, it just kind of shook you all over. This vest, if you set it to drainage, it's definitely much more, I guess, focused in where it's vibrating you. But if you do prefer the kind of all-over vibration, as with the Hill-Rom vest, like I mentioned a second ago, you do have that option. Percussion, I believe, is made to mimic more of a manual, kind of like a padding sensation. If you were getting treatments before vests were ever a thing, you kind of had these suction cups that you'd have to basically pat yourself with to try to clear up all that mucus. And this percussion mode definitely seems to kind of mimic that. At least the best, a digital machine could. But drainage, by far, definitely the best option. So down here we have intensity. I've got it set to high, but if you tend to be a bit tender, or if you're just getting this vest is far more aggressive than the Hill-Rom vest ever thought of being. So high is a pretty intense treatment cycle. So if you don't want such an aggressive treatment, you could set this to low or medium. I started out with medium when I first got the vest, and then kind of slowly worked my way up to high. And if you can take high, it definitely gives you much better clearance than either medium or low. So high is definitely recommended in my book. Next, you have your time. That's just how long you want your treatment to run. And then down here we have our program. And what programming does is it allows you to, again, I hate to keep comparing this to the Hill-Rom vest, but with the Hill-Rom vest, you had the option of programming the vest to where, say, every 10 minutes, it would change the way that the vest is shaking you. You know, it would be faster, more intense, or whatever. This lets you still do that. So what you could do is, say you wanted it to shake you on low settings for 10 minutes. Then you want to shake you on medium for another 10 minutes, and then high for another 10 minutes. You could set this to do that. And then obviously you'd have a total of a 30-minute treatment. That's what a lot of doctors recommend. But again, I honestly have a lot better luck with just leaving this set to drainage and set to high. And it seems to give you much better clearance than kind of ramping things up. But don't take that advice from me. Obviously do what your doctor tells you to do. That's just my personal experience with this. So now let's go ahead and I'll hook this all up and I'll show you exactly what a treatment with the AffloVest actually looks like. Okay, so I'm over here. I've got the remote obviously turned on from a moment ago. And all you're going to do is pick your settings, and there's a little play button right here in the middle. You just hit play, and you're going. I'm not even sure how well you'll be able to hear that on the camera, but this is a very quiet vest. The Hill-Rom vest was just obnoxiously loud. You had that constant sound going on, whereas this is just kind of a subtle buzz. So what you can do once you get it going, you just kind of clip this back up and you're free to go. You got your battery over here, your remote over here, and you're free to move about however you see fit. That is, unless you have a nebulizer that you have to take along with this, which a lot of doctors recommend that you do. This is one of the most convenient vest options I've ever seen. It really gets the job done well. It really helps you clear all that mucus out of your lungs far better than the Hill-Rom ever did. This vest is an honest lifesaver for me. Before I got this, I basically felt like I was drowning, all day long. Let me go ahead and pause this here. I basically felt like I was drowning all the time. And I constantly had mucus that I had to keep coughing up and coughing up. Whereas with this vest, it really gets all of that mucus out first thing in the morning when you get that initial treatment. It helps you get all that mucus out and you're good for the rest of the day. It's a really great vest. Again, it's quite pricey, but I couldn't recommend it more. Over the Hill-Rom vest specifically. So if you're looking for a vest, this is definitely the one to get. But that's my review of the AffloVest. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and depending on how often I log into this account, I'll try to get to all of your questions if you have any. But that's my review, and hopefully you guys found it helpful. See you later.